So you know who Warner Brothers has been building up recently? That's right, their competition. And you know you're self-wrecking when you see headlines like this, with places like Sony Pictures coming out and pretty much thanking you for what you're doing. Sony Pictures CEO confirms increase in director interest after Warner Brothers' HBO push. Added to that, they add this secondary part here, where they basically are taking a shot right across Warner Brothers' bow. Quote, Sony Pictures has no intention of releasing its movies day and date in theaters and on home video/video demand platforms. Basically, we're not going to go out. We're not going to do the things that they would do. You can come in here and you can trust us. And you know what? You can't trust them. It's like this headline here says, Warner Media chief, and not just the chief, but pretty much anyone in their rank and file, all of their executives and on, have become movie villains to some of Hollywood, as the decision to release the 2021 movies simultaneously in theaters and HBO Max have angered many in the industry, including some of the star filmmakers. And you notice this statement here, his company relies on. That's right, those words, relies on. Now, what's funny about this, too, is that Warner Brothers, they don't see this. They can't acknowledge it because they think that they're succeeding right now. In fact, after the launch of Wonder Woman 1984, they greenlit Wonder Woman 3, saying, ooh, that stuff's a hit. Basically, all of our decisions, they're working out for us. What's absolutely hilarious about this, too, is while Warner Brothers is trying to hype up Wonder Woman, telling you, hey, this is a great movie, Wonder Woman 3, it's going to be out there, and we're going to put it together quickly. Patty Jenkins, the director, is taking shots at them along with Sony. You can see this here. And the studio that makes this radical change of moving the theatrical releases to streaming service, particularly without consulting their artists, that is a direct shot at Warner, will end up with a very empty slate of quality filmmakers working there, aka nobody, and I mean nobody, will want to work with you. They'll not trust you. Yeah, this stuff, it's funny. As the Kool-Aid man would say, ooh yeah, indeed. Let's go out and let's talk about this in depth. So hey there, to all you wonderful folks, by the way, I hope you had a Merry Christmas and I wish you a Happy New Year. And today, you and I, we are returning to that wonderful world of Hollywood, that wonderful world of headlines, and more importantly, that wonderful world of train wrecks that Warner, they can't help but create. So as you probably know by now, domestically in the United States, Wonder Woman 1984, it just had its initial release. And the movie, it's making money, especially in the time of the beer bug. But as far as critics, as far as many audiences out there, yeah, they acknowledge that it's an absolute mess. Warner Brothers, however, they don't care about that. They want you to perceive that Wonder Woman 1984 is a license to print money. They want to call it a resounding success. And I would say that everything that's been going on right now, yes, this looks like it is successful. You can see this here. The box office numbers are in. Warner Brothers says Wonder Woman 1984 is a hit. And vicariously, HBO and what they decided to do with it, that would be a hit as well. The Wonder Woman sequel debuted at an estimated $16.7 million in the U.S. during its holiday weekend, Warner Brothers said on Sunday. The film has brought in $85 million worldwide in the box office so far. Again, that's 2 weeks for international, 1 week for domestic. By comparison, the first Wonder Woman movie in 2017 debuted at $103 million domestic box office in its first weekend and ultimately grossed $822 million around the world. As they tell you, that was a different time. You have 2,100 theaters nationwide, or half of that number, that screened the first Wonder Woman during its opening weekend. So again, when you go in, you look at that number. That number is high during what's going on. But is that a success? Warner Brothers, they say yes. They are hyper-focused on selling that point to the detriment of everything else out there. Meanwhile, in reality, the competition understands exactly what Warner Brothers is doing. They understand that AT&T, the parent company of Warner, they have a debt load of $152 billion. Over 30% of their assets, they're spoken for in debt. Basically, they have to do this. And you know what? That competition, they know that this is their time to take away from Warner. That's why Sony Pictures, they say things like this, because they're courting people that are really turned off by what Warner Brothers has done. And make no mistake, there are a lot of people that are turned off too. Like I said before, Sony Pictures CEO, they confirm an increase in director interest after Warner Brothers' HBO push, and then they added this. Sony Pictures has no intention of releasing its movies day and date in theaters and on home video on demand platforms. That message too, it's a shot across the bow, like I said. It's a shot right at Warner Brothers, but it works in other ways as well. It tells theaters, hey, we're not going to turn against you in the long run. You can trust us. And theaters, they are not happy with Warner Brothers. They've been saying, we're not going to carry your products if we make it through this. We're only going to carry ones that will thrive. That says plenty. You also have them courting directors with this, courting star power with this, saying, we're going to make sure that you get paid. We're going to make sure you get your back-end residuals. And beyond that, too, they're courting companies like Legendary, saying, hey, if we're your partners, we're going to go in and we're going to treat you fairly. See, according to Sony Pictures Chairman and CEO Tony, I'm going to say V because otherwise I will butcher that name, the studio is seeing, quote-unquote, a bit of boom. I like the way that comes across. I'm sure that's a typo. I'm sure that's supposed to be a bit of a boom, but I like that. A bit of boom in interest from filmmakers who want to work with the company because it prioritizes theatrical releases over streaming. This is an important thing too. People obviously want to get paid, but if you go in and you look at the statements by the Dune director, what he was saying really bothered him here was that he believes in theaters. He believes that the experience is supposed to be one that we share with other people. It's a communal experience that helps the rest of us. And they had fine-tuned that experience for theaters, not for your home theater system, not for HBO Max, but for theaters. So yeah, that matters. After the Warner Brothers announcement, it's been a bit of a boom for us because it's made dating our movies next year somewhat easier. Tony V said this week during an interview with CNBC via The Verge. But the real benefit has been in the numbers of incoming calls from talent. So it's not just directors. Look at this. From talent, from creators, from actors and directors, to us saying, we want to do business with you because we know you're a theatrical distributor and producer. That has worked very well for us. Like I said, people are concerned about what has happened, but moreover, they feel that Warner Brothers betrayed them. They are looking for allies in this game. They're looking for reassurance, and the competition, like I said, they're out there. There's plenty of it. This was Warner Brothers' game to lose, and yeah, maybe they made some money. Maybe they picked up a few people from the HBO Max Wonder Woman 1984 debut, but does it offset something like this? Can you pick up new things when everybody's ticked off at you? And if you can, how much more is it going to cost you? Tony V's claimed that Sony is already seeing an increase in filmmaker interest following the Warner Brothers HBO Max announcement supports several predictions Wonder Woman 1984 director Patty Jenkins had made to the press over the last several days. As Jenkins told New York Times, the studio that commits to theatrical releases will see the most interest from top filmmakers. Quote, I'll tell you, some studios going to go back to the traditional model and cause tremendous upheaval in the industry because every great filmmaker is going to go work there. And the studio that makes this radical change of moving their theatrical releases to a streaming service, particularly without consulting the artist, that is a direct shot, by the way, at Warner, by the person that they're building up right now, will end up with a very empty slate of quality filmmakers working there. While Sony is open to selling films to streamers, they talk about doing that there, Tony V said that the company has no plans to begin releasing movies day and date in theaters and on streaming platforms like Warner Brothers' new strategy. Sony is committed to theatrical release, is now and only focused on conversations regarding theatrical release windows. We're not changing course to any big degree. We do think windows will become more flexible, and we're thankful for that. We think that's good for the industry and a good thing for our films. Some movies will do better with a short window, and some movies will do better with a longer window. See, me, I think this spells disaster, but what do you think about it? I'm curious. Leave your comments. And as always, too, I appreciate appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Without you, none of it does, so thank you. Also, you want to help out the channel? There are links in the description. PayPal, Patreon, membership, merchandise, and of course, that luscious comic book. But yeah, let me know what you think, and as always, thank you, and we'll see you soon.